Now we come to the uses of a map. So what are these maps are used for, and why we have these maps? So maps are used to plan and engineer for a land use. Planning, for example, planning roads, residential complexes, factories and parks. So maps are basically used to plan the land use. Okay, you can use the land, you can use the land properly. Okay, so maps provide the information about the sailors, miners, drivers, pilots and surveyors and engineers. So they provide the information to these all people. Okay, because if we see a map is full of information about the area and the geographical features. Okay, so these sailors, miners and all these can see, like sailors can see the route where they have to go, and miners where they can find the different minerals and mines. They can see the drivers, they can see the road, pilots and surveyor and engineer also. Maps are also used used by the military to plan and execute defense operations. Okay, so military also take help from these maps. Okay, so if when we see a map have different elements. Okay, so we have to understand this element to read the map. Okay, so we need to understand these elements to read the map. So element of a map, to read a map, these elements are necessary. Like to read a map, these elements, like you need a title, scale, direction, conventionals, signs and symbols, and so signs and symbols, legend and keys, latitude and longitude. So these all features are there on a map. So if we see all these features, with the help of all these features we can read a map. So what is so we begin with the first feature, that is title. The title of a map explains the subject. Okay, so basically, as we know, the title explains the subject, that a map is based on what theme, or what theme does a map contain. It also informs about the map conveyor. For example, a map is titled India rainfall, shows the rainfall distribution of India. Okay, so if a map is titled India rainfall, so that means a map, it is of rainfall, and it will be showing the distribution of rainfall in Indian region. Okay, then comes scale. The actual distance between the two places are far apart and cannot be shown in the piece of a paper. So actually the distance between two places are far apart, they are very far from each other, so they cannot be shown on a small piece of paper. Therefore, reduce in size, these reduction are based on the chosen scale. So reduce in size, these reduction are based on a chosen scale. Therefore, the scale of a map ratio between the length of a map and unit of a distance on a ground. So that's why so a ratio is chosen, and that is between the ground and between the map. Okay, so actually, so what is the distance that is on the map is different, in that actually difference on in that is actually difference that distance on the ground. Okay, so these are so if we can measure the distance according to the two places of a map, we can find out the actual distance on the ground by reading the scale. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to read the scale to find the actual distance on the ground by so we read the scale to find the actual distance on the ground. Three types of scale are frequently used. There are three types of scale that are frequently used. They are verbal or statement scale, linear or graphic scale, and representative fraction. Okay, so these are the three types that we use to read a map scale. Okay, so map scale is basically, we see what is the accurate distance on that is given on the map, and what is it is actual on the ground. So the first